Hi everyone, Nick Peters here at Deeper Waters Apologetics. Welcome to our channel again, and please do like and subscribe to what we're doing here. It really helps to share what's going on. I was thinking about what my next video would be, and then I remembered that April is Autism Awareness Month, and seeing as I am on the spectrum, and my wife is on the spectrum, I figured why not talk about that some. Now, fortunately, the world has come to know a bit more about autism. In the world of Christian Apologetics, you have someone such as Hugh Ross, president of Reasons to Believe and founder of it, who is diagnosed with Aspergers. In media, you have figures like Raymond Babbitt from Rain Man, played by Dustin Hoffman very well, Adam from the movie Adam, Sean Murphy from A Good Doctor, Sam from the series Atypical on Netflix, and even Barry Cranston from the latest Power Rangers movie, who says he's on the spectrum in the movie. So autism is making the rounds. Now all we need is just a autistic superhero and an autistic character in a Final Fantasy game. Square Enix, if you're listening to this, make it happen. Anyway, the idea behind autism also is that if you meet one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. And since my wife and I have it, it can make things very interesting for us. We even had someone stay with us during a hurricane in Florida. I can't remember the name of it right now, but he stayed with us, and he was on the spectrum, and we thought, we've got the makings of a sitcom right here, if we wanted to. Anyway, here are some facets that are usually common. We really don't understand social interactions. Things pretty much have to be spelled out for us in order for us to grasp it. If you're trying to hint us to something with body language or something of that sort, it's kind of a wasted effort. So, ladies, if you're trying to date a guy on the spectrum and you're trying to use body language to tell him you're interested, it will not work, most likely. We tend to take things very literalistically. I remember growing up seeing commercials encouraging people to not drink and drive. My dad drank coffee while he was driving. That got me concerned because, you're not supposed to drink and drive. Didn't know that what it meant was alcohol. I took it very literalistically. I remember seeing a commercial when I was growing up during summer vacation for a medicine, and the guy said, it's recommended by doctors. Doctors are adults. Just like you and me. And I'm thinking, I'm not. I'm a kid. Why are you saying that? Or my parents talking about a show on Broadway, where there was a street in Knoxville not too far from where we live called Broadway, and I kept wondering why all these people are coming and performing there, and why haven't I ever heard of them? That's pretty common on the spectrum. It's pretty interesting considering my eschatology is so preterist. I'm not a literalist in that regard. It's taken a lot of work to get to that point. Eye contact is something very difficult. I've been told during these videos to try and make more eye contact with the camera. I hope I'm doing that. It's just extremely awkward for me to do. When I'm talking to someone, I have to remember, if I'm going to do this, to look into their eyes. It's a real concentrated effort on my end. We really don't function well in social interaction. I remember my former roommate and I went to Kingdom Hall, the place for Jehovah's Witnesses, for one of their services, and afterwards we got love bombed, as I call it, where people from the congregation come and they swarm all over you wanting to know who you are. And I remember a lady taking my hand, shaking and introducing herself, and I was frozen. My roommate finally said, "Say your name." Up here, I knew I needed to do that, but I needed to be told to do that. I can go through the checkout line at the grocery store without saying a single word. I think he also said he would rather speak to 100 people than to just one. That's me as well. I would rather speak to 100 people instead of just one. Also, when we have our interest, we tend to have full-blown obsession with them. It's either no interest or total full-blown obsession. I was talking about this with my dad sometime recently, might have been just yesterday even, that a lot of the shows that he's introduced me to that he liked or that we came to discover together somehow, I know more about them than he does now. A couple of examples of past shows from the distant past: the Adam West Batman series. Yeah, I have a whole series on DVD. He grew up watching that. I know more about it than he does now. Or Cheers, that I saw him watching, and after a while I came to watch it with him. Yeah, I know more about the show than he does now. And he found Smallville before I did. And as people who know me know, I'm pretty much the encyclopedia of Smallville. Now, there are numerous other traits. We tend to not like bodily contact, but the only person I really like touching me is my wife. Anyone else, I don't particularly care. But we have one of our friends in Knoxville always greets us with air hug, and she does it for me. Allie doesn't mind the hugs like that. Some people are different, like I said. But for me, I'd prefer to avoid contact like that. The internet has been a great blessing to us because it's easy for many of us to find our voice when we can actually type it at a distance instead of having to talk to you face to face. It really works well for us. A lot of times we can have weird dietary issues. I can get into that for me later on. If you've seen the movie Adam, pretty much all Adam lives on is macaroni and cheese. That's an example of that. A lot of us can have very heightened intelligence. I tend to remember things very well and do great with mathematics, things of that sort. I'm full of obscure trivia about so many things. I mean, hardly anyone wants to play Bible trivia against me. That's kind of the way we are. We just think those kinds of ways. And along those lines, it can be difficult for us to think abstractly. So if you're trying to do evangelism to someone on the spectrum, don't try to use a lot of explicit Christian language. If you ask someone if they're washed in the blood, for instance, and they think very literalistically, just imagine how they'll take that. And when they come to your church, if you know they're on the spectrum, don't try to greet them. Let them come to you. Give them some space. I mean, don't be standoffish, but don't be in their face. That kind of thing can terrify us. One of the great ways to get to know someone on the spectrum, though, is to find out what they're really interested in and talk with them about that, and they will light up. And one of the things about us is once you have us as your friends, we're usually loyal as dogs. I'm very big about honor and shame from the biblical world, and with honor and shame, it seems natural for us. And as I'm making this video, I see our cat Shiva has just passed through in the background there. He's right there, so you all can see that adorable little cat. And I'll say as animals have also been very helpful for people on the spectrum, especially I think it's called hippotherapy, working with horses. Some people on the spectrum have opened up. People thought to be non-verbal have talked for the very first time due to animals. So for us, having an animal around here is such a great gift, and it doesn't hurt that he's just completely adorable back there. So smile, Shivo, you're the star of a show right now. But that's just an opening introduction to what it's like being on the spectrum. I plan to do a bit more on this, but for now, I am Nick Peters, I affirm the virgin birth, and I am signing off for now.